Cinema these days is packed full of sequels, prequels, spin offs. We've seen it all before, but here comes Netflix with a brand new original IP that not only will become a massive franchise, but was destined to be successful. And I'm going to tell you why. This is spoiler free, so don't panic, don't click off. Let's get into it. Now, if you couldn't tell from the title, this is about a K-pop group who takes on demons and sings and dances while doing it. A ridiculous, wacky concept to begin with, but this trio, incredible. Absolutely incredible. This film is about love. This film's about friendship. It's about vulnerability. It's about duty. It's got all these fundamental elements to really make you think throughout the entire film. It's got great pacing. It's got great energy. It doesn't outstay its welcome, even though it very much could have been up to 2 hours, and you as an audience member would still feel satisfied, in my opinion. So let's get into some of the elements as to why this film was so successful. People who developed this and produced it are the same guys who did Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse films. Now, I am a huge fan of those films, especially just for the artistry alone. The animation skills and the different elements that was put into that film really made a name for Sony's animation department. It's on par with a Disney film, a Pixar film, a DreamWorks film. The animation is beautiful, especially when their faces are over exaggerated and they have those clear line works around their face to exaggerate their expressions. It's also really interesting that they used the same techniques that they used with Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse films, with one of the main characters, Rumi. There is a very emotive scene with her and one of the main villains. She goes from being animated on twos to animated on ones like the rest of the ensemble to show a connection being developed between those two characters. And again, it's ever so subtle, but it just pulls the viewer in so much easier. Another reason why I think this film has done so well is the amalgamation of Asian culture or Eastern culture merging with the Western world. Now, as you can see, I'm very much in that demographic. I'm a huge fan of Asian art styles, cuisine, architecture. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And to have it accentuated in a very colorful art style, it only makes this style more engaging. Korean mythology is at its forefront in this film. The folklore and the legends all combined, not feeling forced, but respected. And I think the majority of this film, in whatever medium that they are approaching, whether it's the animation, the music, the voice acting, the style, everything is treated with respect. And you can really feel the passion that these producers and developers have put into this film. I also really liked the micro expressions and details that they have put into Rumi, Zoe, and Mira. And to be fair, the majority of the entire cast, I was talking about the over exaggeration of expressions, but that is almost very anime like in the sense that they over exaggerate, not that it visually makes sense, but it is emoting a certain emotion for the viewer to resonate with. And all the micro analysis of all their expressions and all their reactions, I feel that this film is going to resonate with younger viewers because it's very much how they respond to situations or how they think they respond in their own minds. Another point as to why this film has been so successful, and I think is pretty obvious if you've heard any of the music, they have broken records with K-pop, BTS, they've skyrocketed the charts. And this is for a make-believe group, and they are actually now competing and beaten actual world-renowned K-pop groups, which is baffling. But it's not when you look at the decisions that the production company made. The main character, Rumi, she never had to audition for her role. The other two core members of the group, they had to audition as professional singers. And even though the voice actress for Rumi is also a professional singer, she never had to audition because she was the one predominantly doing the demos for the music. And the producers must have listened to her so often that they thought there's no way or no point in looking for somebody else when they have a perfect vocalist who can resonate so beautifully with people. Speaking of the casting, the big bad of this film is also being voiced by the main villain from Squid Game, the man in the black mask. His calm, deep, menacing voice, it's going to resonate with people anyway because they've seen him in something so dark and brutal and emotive. It's on the same emotional spectrum. Some other little points I want to talk about. The color palette for this film is absolutely gorgeous. For an animated family film, of course, you need to have very vibrant colors, but I loved how they pushed the boundaries of reality. You had scenes where popcorn was flying out of eyes, or you had it where the entire environment would change color, or you'd have just a texture behind it. It was very, very Spider-Verse-esque, but more subtle. And I feel like, again, those elements draw the viewer in and can appreciate what the storytellers are trying to tell the audience. In terms of the voice acting, it is spot on. There is nothing that feels out of place. Everything just feels natural. And I feel like when it came to the cast actually recording these lines, because the story was so good and because I believe it was very much in touch with the characters that they were writing, it must come out very smoothly, and that is clearly felt in this film. Going back to the music, each song has its purpose. Now, that seems like a stupid thing to say, but there are a lot of songs where they are written and they do not contextually meet what is trying to be said in the story, because this film is very much more musical rather than a pop music video, which is quite ironic because in one of the scenes, it is quite literally a music video that they put out. Little things like when they're talking about harmony and coming together, they are quite literally harmonizing. There's some fantastic songs in this film. You've got Golden, you've got Idol, This Is What It Sounds Like. A lot of my personal favorite songs came to the end of the film, but I think that's because I love very dramatic, emotive music. I like film scores. I like music when it swells, when it brings you higher. Coming towards the end of the film, there are about 3-4 different songs that absolutely hit the nail on the head. They're catchy, they're dramatic, they hit you hard. They hit you in the soul, which sounds very dramatic. But yeah, let me know what your favorite song was down in the comments below, because there's plenty of songs. And what baffles me is there were supposedly over 20 or 30 other songs already recorded with 9 completes that were all completely cut from this film. Ironically, at the very start of this video, I know I said everyone's sick of the spin-offs or sequels, but I can guarantee you this film will become a franchise. They'll put out a series, they'll put out films, they may even do both. There'll be plenty more to come. So let me know what you thought of K-pop Demon Hunters. Me personally, I would highly recommend it. It is a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. That's going to be my rating for it. And remember to subscribe, because then you can find out what films to watch, what films to avoid. There's going to be plenty more videos coming your way. And I'll see you in the next one. And remember, this doesn't happen without you.